Let's start with the weekend action then, because obviously the top three all won. Arsenal's performance, though, not so convincing. Do you feel that was kind of coming, though, judging by the performances that have been happening?
They've conceded a few late goals.
Yeah.
You think of Sunderland, Aston Villa, now that Wolves one. It was a huge goal for them, that. I think psychologically more than just the points as well. It almost felt like... I mean, listening to people after the game, it almost felt like they'd lost the league if they would have finished 1-1. That's how they feel at the moment a little bit, you know, with Manchester City coming, putting a bit of pressure on. But I think that the one thing to take from it, even though it wasn't Jesus' goal, it was given as an own goal, you know, the impact he's had coming back in the last few weeks, and I think he's got a big part to play for Arsenal going forward. I really do. They've got a lot of options now in the centre-forward position. That's something we're going to get into tonight with Olivier Giroud. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I don't feel right now that they've got a real out-and-out world-class striker or player who can play in that position, but they've got a lot of players who have got a lot of qualities that I think they'll have to use all of them between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, their strength in depth is really good, isn't it? You mentioned City. They're coming up along the rails, aren't they? And another exquisite performance from them, you'd have to say, this weekend.
I'd call it exquisite result. I think performance-wise, I think Crystal Palace played really well in the first half and probably would be a little bit disappointed that they didn't go in front. Actually, I think Glasner after the game said that was a better performance from Crystal Palace than he had in the cup final, where they beat, where they beat Man City at Wembley. But Manchester City rode the luck. But when you've got a fella like him up front, it's just one chance and it's a goal. And I mean, he's just absolutely phenomenal, isn't he? You just never think he's going to miss every time he gets a chance. And again, that's a big worry for Arsenal as well going forward.
Yeah, he does make the difference, doesn't he? And then, of course, Aston Villa go on and get the win as well. Wow. Are they in the title race?
They are, yeah, they're there. You know, so you can't not talk about them as title contenders. The run they're on is fantastic. I think the run they're on now, Dave Jones said yesterday that even though Liverpool won the league last year, they'd never been on as good a run as that at any time last season. So the job that Unai Emery and those Aston Villa players are doing, considering the start of the season that they had, which was really poor, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. Can they keep it going? The only way they can keep it going is if that guy keeps going, Morgan Rogers. We said yesterday on Extra Time that for Aston Villa to have a genuine chance of the title, they'll need one of their players to be in the running for PFA Player of the Year, basically be one of the best players in the Premier League. He's the only one who I can see who can actually do that. He won the PFA Young Player of the Year last year. Could he go on and do the double and do it this year?
Yeah, you'd think he could in the form that he's in.
I think if he keeps going the way he is, certainly had a slow start to the season, but the run he's in right now, if that keeps going, Villa keep winning as well, he's got a great shot.
You've been waxing lyrical about his manager as well, Unai Emery. What makes him so special then? And you think he's, what, the second best manager in the Premier League at the moment?
Listen, there's no doubt Pep Guardiola is arguably the greatest manager in the world right now, maybe ever. So it takes a lot to beat him with his accomplishments. But, you know, you think of Slot, did a brilliant job with the Premier League. You think of Arteta, the job he's done at Arsenal as well. But you think of the body of work Unai Emery's done in different countries, different clubs, the trophies he's won. Yeah, you think of experience and quality, longevity in the game as well. I think there's only Pep who can, as I said, eclipse him.
OK, you mentioned, we saw a bit of Foden, didn't we, in the Manchester City game as well, and you obviously mentioned Rodgers as well. Palmer obviously scored as well at the weekend. How do you see England's number 10 sort of shaping up? Where do you see that?
Wow.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's really tough. And we actually thought it was tough just because we had Bellingham, Palmer and Foden. No one was really bringing Morgan Rodgers to the party at all, but credit to Thomas Tuchel. He hasn't gone with the big names. He's gone who he thinks is better for his system and how he wants to play. And it's been Morgan Rodgers. Bellingham, I think, had it in the last game, so it'll be really interesting how he tries to fit him in. He's mentioned Phil Foden almost like a false nine or a centre-forward at different times in the last camp. But he is a special, special talent. You know, he was one of the players of the years, I think, a year or so ago as well. Last season, probably wasn't at his best at some stages of the season, but then you look at what he does to PSG in the final of the World Club Cup, and they were the best team in the world last season, so he's a special player as well. And how do you fit them all in? I don't know. That's what he's paid for, Thomas
Exactly,
Tuchel.
He is paid a little bit of money to do that. We were talking about Chelsea as well. What did you make of Enzo Maresca's comments there? Do you think there's something going on behind the scenes that's not quite right there at the moment?
Yeah, something isn't right at Chelsea, whether this has been brewing for a while or it's something just over the last sort of week, 10 days, when you go off the quotes of Maresca and that he hasn't had much support in the last 48 hours on the back of the defeat in Atalanta. So I think if you're a Chelsea fan, they're worrying quotes, because I'm a big fan of Maresca, and we'll get into this in a bit more detail tonight. And it looks like there's a little bit of a power play starting already, and that never bodes well, especially for a manager.
Yeah, that's not only going to end one way, do you think?
Yes, yeah, that's what it looks like.
OK. Talking to managers, and maybe they are having their own way at the moment, but it's not going all his own way. Thomas Frank, I mean, what's going on there with Spurs at the moment? What did you make of the performance? It was a lot down to Carragher, everyone's blaming. But do you think there are bigger problems for Thomas Frank to worry about other than just his goalkeeper at the moment?
Yeah, there is, but listen, it was never going to be a quick fix at Tottenham.
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas Frank keeps mentioning it. I don't think some supporters like it, but they finished 17th last season. Now, Tottenham weren't the 17th worst or best team in the Premier League last season, but Tottenham should be competing for the Champions League places, I would say, in and around that top 6. I think they're round about mid-table right now, and they're on a really poor run. And when you look at the underlying numbers that we do on Monday Night Football a lot, they don't bode well as well in terms of scoring goals and creating chances as well. So there's a little bit of sort of scepticism, I think, about at the moment with Tottenham supporters around the manager. And I think it's too early to be talking about his job or anything like that. But no doubt, because it was Daniel Levy who brought him in and he's been moved on, it's not a different ownership, but there's different people above the manager. He will definitely need to improve in the second half of the season in terms of, performance and, of course, results. And don't forget, they're doing really well in the Champions League as well. And they've had some decent results of late. Xavi Simons looks like he's come, to the party, took a bit of time to bed in. He's looked OK the last few games. Don't forget Maddison's being out, a friend of the show.
Yes.
Who did really well on Monday Night Football last week. Kulusevski, a fantastic player as well. So I think Thomas Frank has got enough things or reasons he can look at why it's not as good as it should be right now, and also why it can improve in the second half of the season.
Just finally on him, does he have to get the fans on board? So is it about wins?
Every fan does.
Is it about wins for Spurs fans, or is it about the performances? They always seem to go on about the performances.
Fans will demand, and we want it all, don't we? Yeah. He's come in, listen, we highlighted this a few weeks ago on this show. He's come in with a club at Brentford where it's about being difficult to beat, being strong on set pieces, and he's fantastic at that. It's then, can he take the next step with a bigger club who expect maybe a little bit more football? They're going to be up against teams who defend deep. Can you break them down? So there's different questions being asked of him as a manager, and he's answered a few of them, maybe not all of them right now for the liking of Spurs supporters, but that will have to improve as the season goes on.
Arsenal's title challenge. Insights from Jamie Carragher. As the Premier League season unfolds, the competition intensifies, and with each passing match day, the stakes grow higher. This weekend's action showcased the relentless pursuit of victory among the league's elite, particularly highlighting the performance of Arsenal amidst the mounting pressure of the title race. Former Liverpool defender Jamie Carragher weighed in on Arsenal's prospects, articulating concerns that resonate deeply with fans and analysts alike. The context of the title race. Arsenal, a club steeped in history and rich in ambition, finds itself navigating a delicate balance between aspiration and expectation. As the Premier League enters its critical phase, the Gunners are locked in a fierce three-way battle for the crown with Manchester City and Aston Villa, clubs renowned for their depth and pedigree. This weekend's matches illustrated that competition vividly. Each of the top 3 teams secured victories, reinforcing their credentials and leaving little room for error. The relentless grind of the season places immense pressure on players, coaches, and supporters alike as they rally behind their teams in hope and anticipation. The pressure on Arsenal. Carragher's analysis sheds light on what it means to be in a title race. Arsenal sits at a pivotal moment. Their recent performances have drawn both praise for their attacking flair and scrutiny over their defensive frailties. Inconsistent results against lower-ranked teams have elicited concerns about their ability to withstand the rigors of a championship contest. Key areas of concern. Defensive vulnerabilities. Arsenal's defensive line, often perceived as one of their strengths, has shown cracks against pressing opponents. While the attacking unit, led by Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, brings excitement, lapses in concentration at the back have resulted in dropped points. Carragher pointedly remarked that to win the title, Arsenal must bolster their defensive organization, particularly in high-pressure situations. Squad depth. The demands of the title race expose the limitations of squad depth. Arsenal's reliance on key players makes them vulnerable to injuries or suspensions. The depth chart, though promising, lacks the experience of title-winning teams. Carragher suggested that to sustain a challenge, Arsenal will need to integrate younger players more effectively and secure contributions from the bench. Mental resilience. Winning a title often comes down to mental fortitude. Arsenal must develop the resilience to bounce back from setbacks, a quality that separates champions from challengers. The psychological pressure of a title race can weigh heavily, and Carragher emphasized that maintaining focus and composure will be essential for Arsenal's success. Performance analysis, matchday highlights. In the latest matchday, Arsenal's competitors flexed their muscles, reminding the Gunners of their own vulnerabilities. Manchester City, known for their tactical brilliance under Pep Guardiola, showcased their ability to grind out results. Liverpool, under Arne Slot's management, displayed their explosive attacking power, further signaling their intent to reclaim the title. Against this backdrop, Arsenal faced an uphill battle. Carragher noted that the Gunners must not only match their competitors on the scoreboard, but also in their overall approach to the game. Tactical awareness and adaptability will be crucial for Mikel Arteta's men as they aim to solidify their position. Cole Palmer, a new threat. One of the most compelling narratives from the weekend was the return of Cole Palmer to the scoresheet, highlighting how emerging talents can shift the dynamics of a match. Palmer's flair and creativity offer a fresh perspective to an already potent attacking lineup. Carragher pointed out that such talents can be game changers in high-stakes encounters, and Arsenal must remain vigilant in their defensive duties. Tottenham struggles. Amidst the focus on Arsenal, Carragher could not overlook the struggles of Tottenham Hotspur at Nottingham Forest. The contrast between the ambitions of Arsenal and Spurs became evident as Spurs faltered, unable to capitalize on critical moments. This inconsistency could shift the narrative within North London, putting more pressure on Arsenal to assert their dominance. Looking ahead, the title race's critical phase. With the Premier League entering its crucial phase, every match becomes a potential turning point. As Carragher indicated, Arsenal must navigate this period with utmost precision. The need for consistency and performance is paramount. Upcoming fixtures. Arsenal's upcoming schedule presents a mix of challenges and opportunities. The fixtures will test their mettle, and a strong showing could galvanize their quest for the title. Carragher emphasized the importance of a robust start in these matches, suggesting that a strong opening could provide the momentum needed to carry them through. Tactical considerations. Defensive solidity. Addressing defensive vulnerabilities must be a priority. Arteta might need to reassess his defensive strategies to instill greater discipline among his players. Training sessions must focus not just on individual abilities, but also on cohesive teamwork to avert typical lapses. Midfield control. The midfield is the engine of any title-winning team. Arsenal needs to establish control in the center of the park, dictating the flow of the game to relieve pressure from the defense. The combination of Thomas Partey's physicality and Martin Odegaard's creativity can be pivotal in asserting dominance. Rotation and fitness. Managing player fatigue is crucial during a title chase, especially as the calendar becomes congested. Arteta's rotation policy will be vital in maintaining player fitness, ensuring that the squad remains fresh and competitive. Mental preparation. Preparation goes beyond the physical. Mental conditioning is key. Carragher highlighted the importance of mindset in the pressure cooker of a title race. The team must cultivate a winning mentality, believing in their ability to compete at the highest level. The role of the fans. Arsenal's supporters form a significant part of the club's identity. Their unwavering backing can provide a crucial morale boost during tough times. Carragher noted how the atmosphere at the Emirates can impact players' performances. A united front between players and fans can create an indomitable spirit, essential for the challenges that lie ahead. Embracing the pressure. As the title race reaches its climax, embracing the pressure is fundamental.
Carragher's insights emphasize that the best teams learn to thrive under stress. For Arsenal, this means harnessing the energy from pressure situations rather than succumbing to it. A journey ahead. As Arsenal navigates the complexities of the season, challenges abound. Jamie Carragher's analysis underscores the myriad factors at play in the title race. The questions remain. Can Arsenal bolster their defenses, cultivate resilience, and maintain consistency? As the match days progress, the answers will unfold, revealing the true character of a team that aspires to reclaim its place among England's best. In this thrilling chapter of the Premier League, one constant remains: the excitement of the chase. Arsenal must seize every opportunity, rallying their resources and supporters to emerge victorious in a race that promises to be dramatic until the final whistle.